Do you ever feel like your English is this close to perfect, but something's still off? You've spent years drilling grammar rules, your vocabulary is impressive, and you can write a perfect sentence. But then you get into a real casual conversation with a native speaker, and you just feel like you're missing something. There's a gap. You might understand every single word, but you don't quite catch the feeling. Or when you speak, your sentences sound like they came straight out of a textbook. It's an incredibly common and frustrating place to be. It's like there's an invisible wall between knowing English and actually living in it. It can make you feel like an outsider who's constantly translating in their head, and that can crush your confidence, making you hesitate to speak up at all. You end up on the sidelines of the conversation instead of being a player in the game. But what if I told you the key to smashing that wall isn't another grammar lesson? What if the secret is hiding in plain sight, in the phrases that are almost never taught in a classroom? In this video, I'm going to share the essential phrases, idioms, and bits of slang that native speakers use every single day without a second thought. These are the keys to unlocking natural, fluent, and confident English. By the end of this video, you won't just understand what these phrases mean. You'll be able to use them yourself to build instant rapport and finally feel like you're part of the conversation. The building blocks of casual conversation. All right, let's dive into the absolute essentials. These are the phrases you'll hear in coffee shops, in casual hellos, and in just about every daily interaction. Mastering these is your first step to sounding less like a textbook and more like a friend. Phrase 1, how's it going? First up, a greeting you will hear constantly. How's it going? Your textbook probably drilled, how are you, into your head. And that's fine. But how's it going is its cooler, more relaxed cousin. It's the go-to between friends, colleagues, and even the barista at your favorite coffee spot. Now, here's the secret. Most of the time, this isn't a real question that needs a detailed answer. It's a social high five, another way of saying hello. 90% of the time, all you need is a short positive reply. For example, you walk into the office and a colleague says, "Hey, morning, how's it going?" You just shoot back with, "Good, you?" Or, "Pretty good, how about you?" You don't need to launch into the story of your weekend unless they ask a follow-up question. You're at a friend's place. They open the door and say, "Hey, glad you could make it. How's it going?" A perfect natural response is, "It's going well, thanks for having me." Now, context is key. If you're working on a project with someone and they ask, "So, how's it going with the report?" Zrenia, they are looking for a specific update. In that case, you'd say something like, "It's going well, I should be done by tomorrow." The pronunciation is also key. It's not, "How is it going?" Native speakers smoosh it all together. It sounds more like, "How's it going?" Notice how going loses its G. Try it. How's it going? Perfect. Try swapping that in for, "How are you?" this week and see how it feels. Phrase 2. No worries. No biggie. What do you say when someone thanks you? You learned, "You're welcome." And again, that's perfectly correct. But in day-to-day casual chat, you're far more likely to hear "no worries" or "no problem." And if you want to be even more casual, you can use "no biggie." These phrases do more than just say "you're welcome." They send a message of ease and casualness. They imply that whatever you did was not a problem at all, which instantly makes the other person feel more comfortable. Let's paint a picture. Someone bumps into you on a busy street and says, "Oh, excuse me, so sorry." You can just say, "Oh, no worries." It immediately kills any awkwardness. A friend says, "Hey, thanks so much for helping me move that couch. I really appreciate it." Replying with, "No worries, happy to help," sounds super friendly and genuine. Let's try no biggie. This one is even more informal and friendly. Your roommate says, "Oops, I forgot to buy more milk." You could say, "No biggie, I can grab some on my way home." It signals that it is truly not a big deal. Practice the vibe. No worries. And the extra casual version, no biggie. Dropping these into your conversations will instantly make you sound more laid back and natural. Phrase 3. Phrasal verbs. Hang out and catch up. Okay, one of the biggest clues of a non-native speaker is avoiding phrasal verbs. I get it, they can be tricky, but they are absolutely essential for sounding conversational. Let's tackle two of the most common: hang out and catch up. To hang out just means to spend time with someone casually. You probably learned the verb to socialize, but I can promise you, almost no native speaker will ever say, "Would you like to socialize with me this weekend?" It sounds like you're a robot studying human behavior. Instead, they'd say, "Wanna hang out this weekend?" Examples: I'm not doing much on Saturday, just hanging out at home. We should hang out sometime. Are you free next week? What did you do yesterday? My friends and I just hung out at the park. To catch up is what you do when you meet a friend you haven't seen in a while. It means updating each other on your lives. Examples: It's been ages. We have to grab coffee and catch up soon. You bump into an old friend at the store? We're in a rush now, but let's schedule a proper catch-up next week. The conversation itself is the catch-up. It was so good to see you and have a proper catch-up. These two are the bread and butter of making plans, so try them. Wanna hang out? Let's catch up soon. Phrase 4. Under the weather. How do you say you're feeling a little sick? You could say, I am feeling ill, which sounds a bit dramatic, or I am sick. A much more common and softer way to say this is, I'm feeling a bit under the weather. This idiom is perfect for when you're not dying, just not feeling 100%. Maybe you have a small cold, a headache, or you're just feeling blah. It's a gentle expression that works in both casual and professional settings. Let's see it in action. Your friend texts, "Are you coming to the party tonight?" You could reply, "I think I'm gonna stay in." I'm feeling a little under the weather. You need to cancel a work meeting. You could email a colleague, "Hi Sarah, I'm feeling a bit under the weather today, so I won't be able to make our 10 a.m. meeting. Can we reschedule?" It sounds professional, yet human. Someone might notice you're a bit quiet and ask, "Are you okay?" You can say, "Yeah, I'm fine, just a bit under the weather." Fun fact, this phrase is thought to come from old sailing days. When a sailor was seasick, they would go below deck to rest, literally going under the weather deck. Okay, we've got some conversational basics down. Now let's get into expressing emotions and opinions. This is where idioms really shine, adding color and personality that simple adjectives just can't match. Phrase 5. On the fence. When you can't decide something, what do you say? I am unable to make a decision? It's a bit of a mouthful. A native speaker would probably just say, I'm on the fence. Picture it. You're not on one side of the fence or the other. You're stuck right on top, waffling. This idiom perfectly captures that feeling of being caught between two choices. Example. Scenarios. Your friend asks, "Are you going to buy the new phone?" You could say, "I'm not sure. I'm still on the fence. It's expensive, but my old one is so slow." We're trying to decide where to go for vacation. I want mountains, my partner wants the beach. We're on the fence. At work. Are we moving forward with the new software? Management is still on the fence. They're weighing the pros and cons. It makes you sound thoughtful and is a supernatural way to say, I don't know yet. Phrase 6. Hit the nail on the head. What about when someone says something that is exactly right? You could say, that is precisely correct. But to give your agreement some real punch, you can say, you hit the nail on the head. The visual is so powerful. Imagine hammering a nail. Hitting it perfectly on the head is the most direct, most effective way to do it. This idiom means someone has described or identified something with absolute accuracy. In a meeting about a failing project, A colleague says, "I think the core problem is just a lack of communication." You could respond, "You've hit the nail on the head. That's exactly it." Your friend is complaining about their job. You say, "It sounds like you need a new creative challenge." They might reply, "Yes, you hit the nail on the head. That's what's missing." It's a fantastic way to say, "You are 100% right." Phrase 7. On cloud 9. Over the moon. When you're really, really happy, you could say, "I am very happy." But doesn't that feel a little flat? To express pure joy, native speakers use these beautiful descriptive idioms. "I'm on cloud 9, or "I'm over the moon." On cloud 9 makes you picture floating in the sky, totally blissful. Over the moon suggests a happiness so huge it could launch you into space. Check them out. When she got the job offer, she was on cloud 9 for the rest of the week. He just found out his wife is expecting a baby. He's absolutely over the moon. I just passed my final exam. I'm on cloud 9 right now. These phrases carry so much more emotional weight. They're perfect for sharing good news. Phrase 8. To get bent out of shape. Okay, but what about when you're not on cloud 9? For anger or annoyance, a great informal phrase is to get bent out of shape. It means to get upset, often about something that isn't really that important. Imagine a piece of metal literally getting bent out of its proper form. That's what this idiom suggests is happening to your mood. Examples. Look, it was just a small mistake. There's no need to get all bent out of shape about it. This is a great way to tell someone to chill out. He gets really bent out of shape when people are late. It's his biggest pet peeve. You can use it about yourself. Sorry I was quiet earlier. I got a little bent out of shape about some bad news, but I'm fine now. It's a very common, slightly funny way to talk about being annoyed, especially when someone is overreacting. Okay, let's hit pause for a second. We've already covered 8 fantastic phrases. Is this helpful? If you're getting some value out of this, do me a quick favor and hit that subscribe button and the little bell. It tells me you want more lessons like this and makes sure you don't miss what's next. Also, drop a comment below and let me know which of these phrases is your favorite so far. I'd love to hear from you. Now, let's get back to it. Using the right language at work is a balancing act. You want to sound professional and capable, but also approachable. These next phrases are staples in the business world and will help you navigate the workplace like a pro. Phrase 9. On the same page. This is a massive one for any kind of teamwork. If you are on the same page as someone, it means you have a shared understanding or you agree on a plan. Imagine you and your team are literally reading from the same page in a book. You all have the same information. That's the goal. How it's used. At the end of a meeting, a good manager will often say, "Okay, let's just recap to make sure we're all on the same page about the next steps." Before starting a big project, you might say, "Let's have a quick kickoff meeting to get everyone on the same page." If you think there's confusion, you could say, "Hang on, I'm not sure we're on the same page here. My understanding was that the deadline was next Friday." It's the ultimate phrase for ensuring clarity and teamwork. Phrase 10. Get the ball rolling. This one is simple. It just means, let's start. It's used to begin a project or a process. The image is of starting a game by pushing the ball into play. It's an energetic, proactive phrase that says, let's do this. Example usages. In a brainstorming session, these are great ideas. Who wants to get the ball rolling on the first one? To your team. The client approved the proposal. Let's get the ball rolling first thing Monday morning. You might ask a question to start a meeting. To get the ball rolling, could everyone introduce themselves? This is your go-to for initiating action. Phrase 11. Cut corners. This is a negative idiom, and it's a very important one to know. To cut corners means to do something in the easiest, cheapest, or fastest way possible, which usually means sacrificing quality or breaking rules. Think about walking on a grassy field. You could cut across the corner instead of staying on the path. You'll get there faster, but you're not doing it the right way. How you'll hear it. A manager might warn their team, "The deadline is tight, but I don't want anyone cutting corners. Quality is our top priority." Explaining a problem. The reason the prototype failed is that the last team cut corners on materials to save money. You can also use it to say what you didn't do. "We didn't cut any corners with this design. We used the best materials available." Understanding this is key to talking about quality and standards. Phrase 12. The bottom line. This phrase points to the single most important fact or the final result of a situation. It comes from business, where the bottom line of a financial report shows the final profit or loss. But now, we use it for everything. It's a way to cut through all the noise and get to the most crucial point. Examples. We can debate marketing strategies all day, but the bottom line is, we need to increase sales by 20%. When summarizing a long discussion. So the bottom line is, the project is over budget and behind schedule. We need a new plan. It can also mean the final, non-negotiable price. I can give you a small discount, but the bottom line is $500. I can't go any lower. It's a powerful phrase for showing focus and getting straight to the point. All right, if you've made it this far, you're ready for the final level. This is where we get into some more modern slang. A word of warning. These are more informal, so use them with friends or in very casual settings. But getting these right will make you sound incredibly current. Phrase 13. No cap. This is a hugely popular slang term that just means no lie, for real, or I'm being totally serious. Think of cap as slang for a lie. So, no cap means no lie. You use it to add emphasis and show you're telling the truth. How to use it. This is the best pizza I've ever had, no cap. Your friend is telling you a wild story. They might say, "I'm telling you it really happened." No cap. "I'm actually going to finish this report tonight, no cap." It's very informal, so save it for texts or chats with close friends. Using it correctly shows you're up to date with modern English. Phrase 14. Spill the tea. This one is fun. In this case, tea is slang for gossip or juicy information. So, to spill the tea means to share that gossip. Examples. Your friend comes back from a dramatic meeting. You'd say, "Okay, you have to spill the tea." What happened? "I heard John and Mary broke up." Spill the tea? What do you know? It can also be a noun. Someone might just ask, "So what's the tea?" Which means, what's the gossip? Again, super informal and best for friends, but it's a common and playful way to ask for the inside scoop. Phrase 15. Hits different. This phrase is used to describe an experience that feels special or significantly better than usual because of a specific context. It's for when a certain mood or setting makes something more powerful. Let's see it in action. I like this song, but listening to it on a late-night drive? It just hits different. I've had coffee from here before, but having it on a sunny morning after a tough week? It just hits different. This movie is good, but watching it in a packed theater hits different than watching it at home. It's a perfect, subtle way to describe a powerful feeling that's hard to put into other words. Wow, we have covered a ton of ground today. Let's do a lightning-fast recap. We started with the conversational essentials. How's it going? No worries, no biggie. The must-know phrasal verbs, hang out and catch up, and feeling under the weather. Then we learned to express our feelings with on the fence, hit the nail on the head, on cloud nine, and not getting bent out of shape. For the office, we got on the same page, learned to get the ball rolling, to not cut corners, and to find the bottom line. And finally, we leveled up with some modern slang like no cap, spill the tea, and when something hits different. You made it to the end. That tells me you are serious about taking your English to a whole new level. But remember, watching this video is just the first step. The real magic happens when you go out and actually use these phrases. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. Every time you try one, you're building the confidence that creates true fluency. Think of this video as your personal toolkit. Come back to it anytime. Start small. Pick 1 or 2 phrases you really like and try to work them into a conversation this week. The more you use them, the more natural they'll feel. And soon, you'll start hearing them everywhere in movies, music, and in the conversations happening all around you. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today. You're putting in the work to go beyond the textbook, and that's what will make all the difference. If this video helped you, please give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe. Go out there and start sounding like the fluent, confident speaker you're meant to be. I'll see you in the next one.
Welcome everyone to our conversation on secret phrases that native speakers casually drop into everyday chats. Ever feel like your English sounds a bit too textbooky when you're actually out there? Let's jump in.
Yeah, exactly. Absolutely. It's like you know all the grammar rules, but there's this unspoken language that's missed in class. What do you think is the major gap here?
Well, it's all about that real-life feel. I mean, phrases like "how's it going" are so common. Instead of the classic "how are you" that textbooks push, it's this relaxed social high five. You know, the answer doesn't have to be detailed. A
Right.
quick "good you" does the trick.
Exactly. It's almost like a reciprocal ritual. It's fascinating how the tonal delivery, smooshed together almost like "how's it going," completely changes the vibe.
Yeah, and that ties directly to our first building block of casual conversation. It's not just about greeting, it's about feeling the rhythm of a conversation. When you use a phrase like that, you're signaling, relaxed engagement.
Yep, So, aside from greetings, what are some other phrases that bridge this gap?
Oh, there are a bunch. Take, for instance, "no worries," or its even more casual cousin, "no biggie." When someone thanks you and you reply with one of these, it sets a tone that anything is cool, that there's no fuss. It downplays formality.
That makes sense. I remember getting stuck using "you're welcome," and it felt kind of stiff. Using "no worries" just makes the flow feel more natural, you know?
Exactly. And then there's the magic of phrasal verbs like hang out and catch up. Instead of saying socialize or meet to exchange updates, you're instantly more engaging. It's like saying,
Yeah, for sure.
let's do something real, not just talk shop.
Right. Hang out gives off that vibe of relaxation, while catch up feels more like reconnecting, like updating each other on life.
Mm-hmm. And then, if you're feeling a bit off, under the weather is the go-to idiom. It softens the idea of being unwell rather than saying sick outright.
Right on.
And it's versatile. You can use it both casually and professionally.
I love that one. It's interesting how these phrases have a built-in explanation that carries more emotion and context than just plain words.
For sure. Now, moving on to expressing opinions and emotions, when you're like stuck in indecision, saying "I'm on the fence" perfectly illustrates that waffling feeling.
Absolutely.
It paints a picture of literal indecision.
I agree. But don't you think sometimes "on the fence" can sound a bit cliché? I mean, should we always fall back on idioms?
Oh, that's a fair point. While it might seem overused, it's still incredibly effective because it immediately communicates that you're ambivalent. Its simplicity is its strength.
Yeah, I see what you mean. What about when someone's spot on with their observation?
That's when you say, "you hit the nail on the head." It conveys agreement in such a punchy way. Imagine hammering a nail perfectly on target. That's exactly the visual it creates.
Uh-huh. I imagine it really adds flair in conversations that might otherwise be, a bit mundane. And speaking of flair, what do you make of idioms for describing emotions like being extremely happy?
Great segue. Phrases like "on cloud nine" or "over the moon" elevate the expression of joy. You're not just happy, you're in a state
Right.
of bliss. They add extra punch to your emotional language.
Yeah, they totally transform a simple "I'm happy" into something that almost feels pictorial.
Now let's not ignore the situation when things go wrong, like getting upset. Instead of saying you're just mad, using "get bent out of shape" captures that frustration in a more relaxed, almost humorous manner. It tells people
Exactly.
to, chill out.
It's interesting how these idioms make our language both vivid and relatable. But how do these expressions translate into the workplace, where it's vital to balance professionalism and casual authenticity?
Great question. In the office, phrases like on the same page really help ensure everyone's aligned. It's less about formal agreement and more about shared understanding.
Right, yup. I can already see that being super useful in meetings to avoid confusion.
Definitely. And then there's get the ball rolling. It's that energizing call to action. It's like you're saying, let's kick off this project, no hesitations.
Yeah, I love that. One thing that's really interesting is how these phrases can also cover negatives in a professional context. Like when you say someone cut corners. It conveys the idea that quality was sacrificed for speed.
Exactly. It not only explains what happened, but it implicitly warns against careless shortcuts. And then to wrap up business discussions, the bottom line is used to narrow the focus to what's most essential.
Yeah, that's a must-have in any professional dialogue. Totally. It cuts through a lot of the unnecessary details.
Now, shifting gears a bit into advanced modern slang. For example, no cap is a fantastic term that literally means no lie.
Right,
It's
it's
like
become
saying,
super
I'm not
popular.
exaggerating.
And then there's spill the tea, which is just such a fun way to ask for gossip. The imagery of spilling tea really puts a playful spin on sharing news, don't you think?
Totally. It's playful and casual, ideal for informal chat among friends. You might say, spill the tea, what happened at the party? And instantly, the mood shifts to a lighter, more engaging tone.
Yep, exactly. And then we have that really cool expression, hits different, which is used to describe an experience that's uniquely impactful due to the context. Can you share an example?
Sure, like when you're listening to a song on a breezy late night drive and it just hits different compared to when you usually listen to it. The mood, the atmosphere, it all enhances the experience.
Ah, I get that vibe. That's a really neat way to capture a feeling. It's like adding a layer of emotion to everyday language.
Absolutely. And here's a little fun fact. The evolution of these phrases over time really shows how language adapts. Even phrases like under the weather have historical roots from old sailing times.
Interesting, huh? Right, it's amazing how these idioms carry history and culture along with them.
So, if you're serious about mixing things up in your conversations, start by incorporating one or two of these phrases into your daily chatter. Don't hesitate to use them, even if you stumble at first. The more you use them, the more natural they'll become.
That's key. Exactly. Practice makes perfect. And these phrases are like your personal toolkit for sounding more native.
And remember, even if English seems to have this invisible wall, the secret is that the key isn't more grammar lessons, but in speaking and listening, absorbing these phrases that native speakers throw around effortlessly.
Yeah, truly. I think it's safe to say that embracing these idioms not only builds confidence, but also makes interactions more fun and, well, real.
You got it. And while we recognize that sometimes the nuances of these phrases might challenge even advanced speakers, don't be afraid to get creative and use them to express yourself.
Absolutely.
It's all about making your English feel like lived-in language rather than just textbook rules.
Before we wrap up, any final thoughts on how one might start incorporating these phrases into everyday conversation?
Just start small. Choose a phrase, maybe how's it going or no worries, and try it in a relaxed, informal setting. You'll soon notice how natural it feels, and before you know it, you'll be blending these phrases into your speech.
Definitely. I love that approach. And for anyone feeling self-conscious, remember, practice is the secret to fluency.
Exactly. You're not just learning words, you're embracing a new way of feeling native. Thanks for chatting through these secret phrases with me. It's been a fun, engaging ride.
Yeah, super fun. Absolutely. Thanks to everyone tuning in. Keep practicing, and soon you'll be darn near native.